Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Today, I have terrible news. AMD's making a more powerful gaming card. Here's the reason you can't buy a GPU, and the world's first MCM GPU is like no other. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, I have some really depressing news. As you know, the German site 3dcenter.org has been documenting average GPU prices for months now. First, things seem to finally be coming down at the end of May after a huge jump in price. Then it looked to further that trend into early July, until finally, at the beginning of August, things took a dark turn. AMD prices actually went up, but there was hope, as Nvidia's cards were still going down. Well, as of the end of August, that's now changed, as both Nvidia and AMD's cards are now going up in price.
Life is pointless and nothing matters, and I'm always tired.
And to make matters worse, reports have surfaced that both TSMC and Samsung's Foundry will be raising prices by as much as 20%. Remember that AMD uses TSMC and Nvidia's 30 series uses Samsung, meaning prices will likely go up even more. Hopefully AMD and Nvidia already have their contracts in place, but it could easily affect anything in the future. Basically, stock is still doing terrible, but I've found where all those GPUs are, which I'll get to in a few. Now, with GPU prices back on the rise, you've got to save every penny you can, and there's no better way than with today's sponsor, Honey, the free online shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies them for you. And it's so simple. Just install Honey in a couple clicks, shop like you normally would online, and save money. On average, Honey finds discount codes that save you 18%. That's just free money. Plus, Honey works on a ton of your favorite sites, which means you could be saving money right now. And don't forget that it's completely free. So what are you waiting for? Add Honey to your browser for free by visiting joinhoney.com/gamermeld today. And thanks to Honey for sponsoring this video. Next up, AMD could be making a new GPU that's more powerful than their RX 6900 XT. The leak originally comes from a Twitter user who posted this slide. As you can see, it's called the 6900 XTX, which is a bit confusing. Remember that a little while back, AMD released a bin version of their 6900 XT in the form of cards like the Red Devil Ultimate. Those had higher clocks than the stock 6900 XT, but it had the same 16 gigabit per second memory. Well, when we look here, you can see that it mentions 18 gigabit per second memory. What's interesting about that is that the 6900 XT LC was recently released, which itself can get up to 18 gigabit per second memory. Now, that's obviously liquid cooled, but it's also an OEM only part. This slide says expanding the AMD RDNA family, which sounds more like AMD could be releasing DIY parts. And of course, yet another version of the 6900 XT would be a little odd, but given the current GPU climate, I wouldn't be too surprised. AMD is likely wanting to maximize profits. Plus, with rumors of a 3090 Super, it could be their response. That, or it may be an older slide before AMD decided to release the liquid-cooled part. Either way, it'll probably sell out in seconds. And speaking of, if you've been trying to buy a new GPU but haven't found any stock or for a reasonable price, this is likely why. Recently, a crypto mining company located in Bahrain and Dubai that makes GPU mining rigs for customers shared a really telling video. In it, they're effectively bragging about a recent shipment of GPUs. And as you can see, they have a ton from XFX, PowerColor, and Sapphire. And except for some RX 580s, you can see that they're mostly AMD's new GPUs. We're talking the 6800 XT, 6700 XT, and even 6900 XT. Not only that, but according to Video Cards, the company has shared images of Nvidia's cards in the past. Now, as for where they're getting all of these, they don't say, but given they're all the same models and brand new boxes, I would assume it's coming right from the AIB partners, but that is just a guess. Either way, this is definitely frustrating, and if it is coming from AIB partners, what are you thinking? Now, before anyone says, oh, it makes sense, no, it really doesn't. If this was any other time where stock was plentiful, I'd fully understand. They're a company and they're going to do whatever they can to sell the cards, but selling GPUs is not an issue right now. They could easily sell that many in seconds, so why sell it to miners? Sure, they might be willing to pay more, especially given crypto prices are way up, but that's such a short-term win because the second the market crashes again, miners will just run away. Your core audience is gamers, so keeping them happy makes way more sense for a business. But alas, here we are. And lastly for today, we're finally getting some news on what should be the world's first MCM-based GPU. Remember that originally, Intel looked like they were going to be the first with their Ponte Vecchio GPU, but that has since been delayed. Luckily, we've been seeing rumors that make it pretty clear AMD's next-gen Instinct card, codenamed Aldebaran, is set to be an MCM GPU, meaning multiple GPUs combined into one. But instead of Crossfire or SLI, it would be looked at as a single GPU. That would allow some massive jumps in performance. Well, in a new commit for AMD's ROCm, which is their open source platform for compute, a potential new GPU was spotted. The interesting part is at the end of each ID. First, we have the current MI50 and MI100, which lists the amount of CUs for each card. This new card says 110, which obviously wouldn't make sense given the last gen card has 120 CUs. Well, as Video Cards mentions, that is likely referring to a single chiplet, which would mean their next gen cards come with a whopping 220 CUs. Something that would be impossible without an MCM design. Keep in mind that's a total of 14,080 stream processors for the GPU. What's interesting is that the full Aldebaran is expected to come with 128 CUs per chiplet, but it makes sense. This would give AMD a little wiggle room in case some CUs were damaged. Not only that, but recent reports have pointed to the MI200 offering full FP64 compute, which would mean in those workloads, the new GPU could offer as much as 4 times the performance of their MI100. Basically, MCM GPUs are likely the future, and it's certainly set to be a bright one. So while that does it for today, are you excited for the first MCM GPU, or are you just mad that it seems miners are getting more cards than anyone? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please subscribe, and as always, have a great day!